Welcome to Not Average Cinema. I'm Zach,
And I'm Pepper.
and today we are reviewing Volume 1 of Stranger Things, Season 5, giving our initial thoughts on the episodes here. Um,
Yep.
Note, it will be, for me, maybe a little harder than Pepper. I have a terrible memory, and considering this has taken like 500 million years to get done, there's going to be things that maybe I don't like as much as him, maybe because I'm like, how am I supposed to stay invested for that long? But just note that going in.
Yeah.
I should do a full rewatch at some point, but it's just kind of like, can't just rewatch it every 3 years when they put out a new
Yeah.
season.
The final season, though. So this is the only
True.
time you'd have to. So you got a little break now. They're gonna release the next three episodes on Christmas, and then the final 2+ hour long grand finale on New Year's Eve, I assume, or New Year's Day, whichever one. So a few days later, they're kind of hitting all the holidays here, but we got the first half, I guess, of kind of episode count wise, maybe the actual time that is going to be in those episodes. I think it's going to be a little longer, closer to the end, but kind of the first half here of the season. So your overall thought coming out of those first four episodes, what was your takeaway?
Probably mixed to negative, I would say. My overall thoughts would be just kind of all around, and we'll maybe get into some of the stuff that led to that. But I kind of had a feeling that it was maybe going to lean that way after we major spoilers. So we're going to probably have a lot of spoilers in this. I
Yes.
think that's the only way for us to really talk about it. So
So we'll
um,
kind of give our
yeah, I
overall
guess.
thoughts
Yeah, you
now,
give your overall thoughts before I
and
start
then
talking about things. So yeah, I would say mixed to negative. Like I'm probably going into the last half like, not as excited as I was going into just the season in general,
yeah.
personally.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I do that with a lot of things where I get too excited about it and I'm kind of looking for negatives in a way where I'm just like hoping it's good, hoping they nail it, and maybe just don't really let them take me on the ride that they have for me. Where a rewatch could possibly help something like that. And I'll say that's kind of been my experience here, where the first time I went through the episodes, I was kind of feeling what you were feeling, a little more mixed, maybe not negative, but a little mixed. Some of the fears that I had maybe going into this season after such a long break, maybe were present there, but kind of rewatching some of the episodes, some of the parts of them, and kind of I've been watching some of the behind the scenes footage and making of the episodes, and kind of thinking back to how things are tied to certain things, maybe making a little more sense to me now. I've grown on it, so I'd say I'm positive enough. I'll accept this first half, but I would say it didn't really give me anything that I'm like, oh, that's what I wanted. That's what I was waiting for. I'm just kind of holding out hope that we get kind of pretty much we're gonna get the conclusion bits in the back half as it's kind of designed to be that way. So you never really were gonna get the big things in this first half, but I'm optimistic, happy enough with these four. I think they were quality. I think Stranger Things always is at least good, and I think it was good.
Okay. Okay.
Not great. I'm not saying this is a masterpiece. That's still, if I had to put it in the seasons, I would say it's hard to do it with half a season, but if it's equal feelings to what I have here, it might be like fourth in the seasons for me. So nothing quite blowing me away.
Yep.
But I guess some of
Yeah.
the so that's kind of our spoiler-free thoughts here, and then we kind of broke it down into the different storylines they have going on with the characters here, characters there. So we'll have sections talking about individual bits there, but some things that are kind of overarching were kind of the setting, kind of the action, how much you get, and how good you think it was. And then we had the dialogue here. What do you think about the dialogue? You mentioned that we had to put that onto this list.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just not a fan of much of what was going on dialogue wise, and yeah, I don't know. I
It's
don't
a
know.
little cheesy. It's a little cheesy sometimes.
It is. It feels like I don't know. Initially, like the first season, I was like, oh, it made D&D feel like a cool thing. I'm into board games. I'm not as much into the role playing in D&D to begin with, so I'm not like the biggest D&D fan. But it's gotten to the point where I'm just like, oh my gosh, he is making D&D people. Speaking of Mike, he's making them just look like total nerds, and it's like, oh, this guy is just crazy, and it's like, I I thought it was maybe doing a service to it initially, but now it's just making those kind of it makes it be like, oh, I don't want to be part of that anymore. These
Yeah,
people are crazy, and they just bring a bag of miniatures around and talk it in riddles all the time. I don't know.
they do. They do.
It's mostly maybe that dialogue. The rest of it, I mean, is
Yeah, there's a lot
I
of.
just don't know if the I don't know if there's any like touching dialogue for me. Anything that made me feel like any sort of emotion.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
yeah,
ah, you're to the point where like these relationships that have been built for 4 seasons, like I should be feeling a little bit more, I think. And I just am like,
yeah,
I don't know, they're just talking to each other and it doesn't do anything for me. They don't seem to be worried at all about what's going on, and it's just like
yeah.
I don't know.
That's one of my. That's kind of like it's both ways, kind of with the characters and dialogue and how they interact. Well, one, there's a lot of like plan breaking down, which just feels like okay, we're doing this again. We've broken down plans about 100 times in this show already, and I think overall this season feels like we're kind of playing the hits a little bit with some things we do. But yeah, like you said, the characters they kind of go between being annoyingly upset all the time and bickering, and we'll talk about some characters in particular that are doing that, or just not taking it seriously at all, like, oh, look what happened here, or jokes and things like this. And it's like, this feels world ending stakes. Why are you so light in this situation? Or also, why are you just fighting all the time? You need to be serious. You need to calm down and just be normal in this situation. So,
Like even the adults, the few adults that are in it, I'm just like
mm,
I don't know how they're treating this like it's just a normal situation.
yeah.
I don't
Well,
I don't know
they,
what this world is supposed to be, but it's like I feel like it's gotten less and less like a real world. Like the way the
yeah.
people, the few character adult characters, especially in this area, are acting like it's just nothing.
Yeah, well, they've been used to it. They've been in this world for like 4 years and aged 15 years.
That's true. Yeah, that is true. And yeah, speaking of time passing, supposedly there's an 18-month gap between season four, the end of season four, and season five, or the beginning of season five. And I'm just like, that was just something I did not want to happen. With the way the season four ended, I'm like, the way they start this off and really do nothing crazy for until like the final episode of this half. I'm just like, why did we do that? Just to cliffhang? I mean, it's now that feels worthless. Like going back, if I feel like if I was watching that and then went straight into this, I'd be like, what the heck happened?
Yeah.
And it's like
Yeah.
not explained.
Yeah, that's I mean, you just build up to such a high to end the last season. It's kind of what I was worried about. And when I saw the trailers and see them up to fun shenanigans, I'm like, this is not what I want to see. I want to see, oh my gosh, spoiler for season four, the ground has opened up, monsters coming out of it, and this and that, and it feels like we spent 4 episodes and we're back there now, and we're ready to go and actually do something with that finally. But it just seems a little weird that this season was just like setting us back up. It's like I was ready to go. Most of the, well, a lot of the people, probably half the people were ready to go and probably just rewatch those episodes. So I think they just want to get into it and run towards the finale.
Yeah. And that's where I'm just like, I don't know. Like, just don't end it with that then.
Yeah.
Like, don't set that up that way. I don't. I don't know. Maybe we'll get some more in the second half, but I'm just like, I feel like that also doesn't make sense if we have four episodes where we don't explain it, and then we go into the next episodes, and then they start to. That to me would be. I don't know if that would be worse. I think it would be
Yeah.
worse because then all of a sudden you now set it up to be exciting again, and then go back again
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
make it exciting. It's like, what are you doing?
Oh man.
I don't know. The whole tone of the people. I just. I don't know. I would have just as well just off with a bang, but it's just
Yeah.
I don't know. I get that if you were gonna have 8 episodes and I don't know what it'll end up being 10, 11, 12 hours of stuff. I get that that's going to be hard to just go straight
Yeah.
into that and have that non-stop for the whole time, but
Yeah.
it just felt like it was going to be more exciting.
I mean, I think seeing how they wrap it up and maybe
Uh,
this kind of reset and Vecna being missing, maybe it was necessary. Maybe it all comes together in the end, but it just feels a little underwhelming to start. But what about the action? Were you satisfied with the amount overall of action and pacing and excitement throughout the four episodes?
I mean, out of
Yeah.
kind of the stuff. That was probably one of the better parts for me. It did have some good bits of action.
Yeah,
I
agreed.
mean, I always would have liked more, but that's just I'm just an action junkie, so
Yeah,
I like that. But I think the moments where they had it, it was pretty
yeah,
good to sometimes possibly even great.
yeah. I
So
think,
yeah, I think they were able to capture those moments when they did have them.
yeah, I agree. And it seemed like everything kind of kept going along at a decent pace. Never kind of, I mean, I was afraid that it was going to slow down when they introduced some storylines, but I think they kept it going kept me entertained. Wasn't falling asleep.
Yeah, there were some things that I probably would say it was slower than should have been, but
Yeah. Okay, so now like even the visual of the next slide could give away spoilers with the things that are listed on it, but I think we're gonna dive into one of the stories dealing with Hopper and Eleven, kind of their whole storyline. So them their Hopper's going on the run, searching the upside down, trying to find this missing Vecna, searching kind of sector by sector. You got the army down there as well. They have a lab, and 11 eventually goes into the Upside Down as well, and they're just kind of on a mission together to get in this lab where they think Vecna is. Did you like their dynamic throughout the four episodes,
I don't know.
or
I
the story at all of them?
I think it was pretty. I won't say it was the weakest of the different stories, but it was probably the second weakest, I thought, of the
Yeah.
stories. And yeah, I at one point liked Hopper. I feel like he's just been a kind of downhill character since I don't know, probably since his immediate peak when he was first in it. I feel like it's just been kind of a slow decline, and now it's really feeling like a decline this season, just because I don't know. It doesn't feel like he's doing anything special, but also did not feel like Eleven was doing anything special. I I don't know. I've never been like the biggest fan of the Eleven character, but I kind of was expecting Eleven to be a little bit more involved than this in the final season.
Yeah, because as I mean, again, it kind of depends
I
what
mean,
they end
it
up
depends
doing
what
with the
happens,
story,
but
like how important this is. Like right now, it just feels like we're just doing a little road trip with Hopper and Eleven, who actually
in the Upside Down.
in the Upside Down. Which first off, the Upside Down, the monsters are like gone right now. Vecna's disappeared. So it's not that exciting. I feel like it's lost a lot of that. Oh my goodness, we're in the upside
Yeah,
down. Feels terrifying, could die any second. It's lost that completely at this point, kind of intentionally, but that is one thing that is maybe a little disappointing.
I think that's pretty disappointing. I think it should be much more dangerous. I feel like that was one of the big points of the show is this upside down and yeah, now with some other things and stuff, it's just making me question everything about the Upside Down, and I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Um, but yeah, this definitely was a weak point in the Upside Down, which I felt was kind of one of the cooler parts of the show.
Yeah. Yeah. I
It was
mean, you
kind of
go,
it was kind of its own character in a way, and
yeah.
there's something cool about it. And then yeah, now it yeah we open up the crack at the end of season 4, and then yeah now I don't know.
Yeah. It's just, yeah, it's different. It's different, and but it is different now. I don't know if this is different or if it was always there, but
Always
there's a
there.
wall. There's a wall in the Upside Down that we are going to have to deal with. So they're introducing new mysteries, which I'm like, just finish what we've already built. Don't be adding new
Lost.
things. So we got a
Yeah,
wall in the Upside Down, and the army. I don't know what the army's doing. They want 11, I guess. I'm like, and based on you can probably see at the bottom of the screen, we have 8 down there, and that's not just a random rating of the episodes
it's
or
not
of the
007.
storyline. It's not 007. This is 008. The army does. They think they have Vecna in there because 11 can sense there's someone like her in the lab. And they get in there, and it ends up, I think it's 8. It's the number from the one forbidden episode that everyone hates from season 2 or something, where 11 goes to, like, I don't know, Chicago. I don't know where she goes. And gets in with this punk gang, and one of the girls is like her and has superpowers. She ends up being in the lab, and that's just another thing where I'm like, oh, I mean, I didn't want her back. I appreciate, I guess, they want to have integrity and tie up loose ends, but I just don't want to invest the little time we have left into getting her involved in the storyline. Unless
Exactly.
maybe she's villainous, then I think it could work maybe a little better, because then it's just like, hey, gotta kill her too, or something like that. But if they're
That's true.
gonna make her a hero, I just I don't have the heart enough to invest in another character in this little time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, sure, maybe it could work, but they have chosen the path of we are never killing off any of these characters ever in any way. We're never going to do it. Um, outside of like one a season. We'll do
Yes.
one, but
Yes.
we'll add like 10. We'll get rid of one. And we'll just have all these characters built up so that we can have 10 stories going on and at the same time. Uh, yeah, I was like, I think that's what really made it feel like they did nothing. Because I'm like, I don't care about this. I don't want that to
Yeah.
be a thing. I don't know what I was wanting it to be. I was not excited about it at all. I'm
I
like,
was
no matter what's going to happen here, I don't think I'm going to be excited about it. I can't see any scenario in which this ends up being something I'm like,
yeah.
wow, this saves this storyline.
Yeah. I'm like, the army's not interesting. They have, I think,
Right.
Sarah Connor in there playing this kind of bad. I don't know what she want. I don't know why they want 11. If they have 8, why do they need 11? I mean, what do they want? 19? What's going on here? Um, but yeah, I don't know. And I'm not a fan of 8. Maybe they make it great. Hopper
I don't think so.
teases another sacrifice like for the 25th time. And all I'm thinking, I'm like, is this the stupid way he's actually going to finally die? So I'm like not even invested emotionally in the moment that he might actually die. I'm more worried that he's going to die for this stupid reason. And what, he thought he was going to go blow himself up and kill Vecna? You think that would kill Vecna if he'd been there? I don't think any explosives or guns or anything like that would do anything to him. So I don't know why Hopper thinks he's going to do it.
He thought he was gonna do something.
I think
He
that
thought
was,
he had a better chance than 11 there.
yes, for
Granted, I
sure.
suppose 11 you had to get rid of her powers, so we had to have
True.
a
She's
device
training,
that got rid of that.
training, which I like that she's training. I think that's kind of cool and training for the fight. But then, yeah, we have the kryptonite
Well, yeah, but
attack
then
on.
she didn't get to go in there anyway. Like he
Yeah,
didn't care about her training. I feel
that's
like
true.
that was part of it too, is because he didn't like be like, okay, come along. No, it had to end up. She had to come later on. I think
Yeah,
that also didn't help it.
yeah, yeah.
this relationship.
Yeah. I mean, he
So
has a
yeah,
couple moments where he's proud of her, so I guess that's good.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
overall,
guess
I'd say a weaker storyline.
yeah, pretty weak. And I think my worry is I don't see how this becomes better because I'm not interested in eight at all.
Yeah.
And like you said, maybe if they turned him heel,
Turn him
if
heel.
eight turns out to be a bad person, then maybe.
Yeah. I just like it's like Captain Marvel. It's like I don't want Captain Marvel coming in and beating Thanos. Of course, they knew what the people wanted, and they just said she's not involved in Endgame whatsoever. But I mean, I feel a similar way here. I'm like, I don't want her to play a huge part in this. I want these people to have the victory, not her. She may have reason to, but I don't care. But what
Right.
we do care more about, hopefully, is this next set of characters. We have the Wheelers. The Wheeler family. So Mike, I don't know if I actually made a spot for Mike, so I guess we can talk about him here. Forgot him. We got Mike. We've got Nancy, brother, sister. I forgot for like the first few years. I'm like, which one is Nancy a sister to? Is it Will? Is it Mike? It's Mike. And then they have a little sister, Holly, which I forgot existed. And then they have the parents who are just oblivious to all this going on, the drinking mom and the just gruff father,
Golfing father.
golfing father, yes. So they get involved pretty quickly in this series as Holly has a friend, Mr. Whatsit, an imaginary friend, someone that only she can see, and is talking to her about monsters. And she talks to Mike about this, and Mike's like, "No, that's all made up. There's no monsters here that are coming after children. What are you talking about, Holly? Just forget about it." And I'm like,
Just be quiet.
you've just been dealing with all of this stuff that's surrounded completely around your group of friends and family. And then your sister says, I'm seeing a guy that no one else sees, and he's telling me there's monsters coming. And you just dealt with a guy who is in people's heads and has monsters. And you're like, nope, here's a D&D figure. You're okay. I'm like, Mike, you just want your sister to die. I wouldn't be surprised if he was in on this the whole time, the way he acted.
That would be the turn that this
That would
show
be,
needs. That he'd
oh,
be Vecna all along.
that would be amazing.
That would be an awesome turn. That would turn. I would change my opinion on this season. Flip it around.
That would flip it
It's the only way to
upside
save
down.
it. Maybe they got to reshoot it.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, I you try saving this a little bit here. This one. This is what I was going to say was the weakest, but you did put the Wheelers in there with it, so that makes it a little bit saves it a little
Yes.
bit. I
Yes.
like family dynamics and things, but the fact that some of them, I mean, they weren't necessarily the closest family. Obviously, if we
Yeah.
are forgetting who's brothers and sisters with who, and that they have another sister, and then it just kind of like it kind of feels like they just made it that way just to get
Yeah.
a member of kind of the main cast involved in this part too,
Yeah.
in a way. Um, but yeah, I going into the kind of the next part here of the mind space and Holly. So, it turns out Mister, what's it?
Yeah.
What's that? What's that? What's it? Ends up being this Henry fella.
Henry. Henry Creel. Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
There
He
might.
may also be known as Vecna.
Yes.
And then Holly gets well, put up the family puts up a fight. So,
Yeah.
um, these
They
monsters
got
maybe are coming. They're coming for her.
they're they're popping through the wall, blasting through the ceiling, and grabbing Holly and trying to bring her into the upside down.
Yes, as they've always been known to do, Demogorgons. Um, so yeah, they put up a fight. I do like
Yeah.
that. And that was a good bit of action there.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
sometimes characters that you don't care about, which I would say is probably for these parents, if they put
yeah,
up a fight in a scene and they get you invested in them, and it can just totally change the character. And I think, well, the dad didn't do much, but he's kind of lovable. He just kind of gets swatted by the Demogorgon, thrown across the room, and then the mother, of course, doesn't believe the daughter right away. which I'm like, wasn't it just banging around in the other room? You don't have headphones on. What are you, how'd you not hear that? But then she does. The mother fights like crazy with the wine bottle. She breaks and slashes at the Demogorgon to protect her daughter. She gets slashed up pretty good. I assumed dead for her, especially, and probably the father as
That's what I
well.
thought too. But this
Um,
show would never allow something like that.
not
No,
even
no, no. We only get one a season. One.
one,
When we aren't using it on these fellas.
not even D tier characters.
We
Um,
can't have any stakes at all. Um,
yep. So they're in the hospital recovering.
this
Uh,
is why Mike doesn't take anything seriously.
that's true. That's true.
He's like, there's plot armor on these people.
Yes. But yeah, then Holly gets taken to the upside down, and then she goes into what kind of turns out to be Henry's mind space. And you don't like the mind space. I like the Wheelers. I like how we kind of made them a family. And Nancy and Mike kind of actually feel like siblings for the first time in the show. And I like the parents a little more now. But the mind space, I don't really like dream things or hallucination things or things that aren't real that you can't actually explain. Even though we did have some of that in season four. I wasn't sure about it right away, and I don't think you were ever convinced to like this part of the story.
No, I don't really tend to like those things either. And this felt like another thing that was just added on, and I'm like, I think that's why it's hard because like, sure, maybe if this was in an earlier season, maybe I could get invested in what this is, but I'm like, at this point, I'm just like, I'm sure this will end up playing into something toward at the by the end, but I'm like, I don't know that we need another kind of mystery thing here of his mind and oh, I'm gonna protect you, and it's like this nice place. Um, it just feels like a nice place to live potentially. And yeah, and then it eventually leads to another thing, another reveal of Max showing up, and we're like, what the heck's going on here? This is really starting to feel a lot like Lost. People just showing up and we
It
thinking
does.
dead and they're not dead, or maybe they are dead, or who knows what's going on. Smoke monster. Um, maybe it could be a smoke monster. We don't know yet.
Could be, could be.
But yeah, I was like, I really just I was hoping in some episode, especially since we slowed back down. I'm like, okay, at the end of one of these episodes, Max is going to wake up. It's just I think it should go. I know it's like a cliche movie thing that they would wake up like that, but that is what I was expecting to happen. But no, instead we're gonna get this her being involved in this mind space was sent there by 11. I and she hid in this cave. All these extra things, and I'm just like, okay, I'm sure this will play into some Vecna character thing by the end, but I'm just like, I don't know.
Yeah, I was, when I thought of this, when they first introduced it, and I was thinking of it as a brand new thing that they've introduced with the mind and with Max, and I'm like, how is she even in this new place that we just discovered? What's going on here? I did not like it at all. It did feel very much like Lost, like you said, and just like something stupid that I don't want to get invested in, and I think it's just wasting time and I'd much rather have her just physically wake up. But since then, kind of rewatching, reading up about it, and seeing like, okay, she was in the cursed mind space when she was in season four, Max, kind of in that place where Vecna was going to end her life, and she ran up the hill and got out of the place, and that when she did die and she did pass, and 11 brought her back. She's in this coma and just still remaining in that place. And I think that's just enough for me to buy into that. I'm like, okay, she's just still attached to a place that I have accepted that exists, even though that's still a mind space and it's still kind of dumb. I'm like, okay, I don't have to learn something new for this. So I'm okay with it. It makes enough sense in my head now. I understand it enough that I actually don't mind it. And I'm surprised because initially I was dead set against it.
I don't know. I feel like I shouldn't have to be watching extra things and going into that. It should just, I don't know. I, maybe by the end I'll like it better, but yeah, the initial watch, I'm just like, it just feels like another. This was the thing that I thought was the worst. I just don't want this
Mhm.
stuff, and it just feels added on, and you start getting more into these
Yeah.
Inception style things, and you're trying to be too cute sometimes, and I'm just like, I just want some action, some bodies hitting the floor, and stuff like that, and I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I mean,
I don't want a big, I mean, maybe I assume discover some fear or weakness of Vecna in the mind, something tied to the
right.
cave. Okay. And then you use that in real life to maybe do something. I don't want this to be the battleground in the mind. I just don't want that. That just seems kind of stupid, kind of underwhelming if that ends up being where most of the kind of defeating of him takes place, is in his mind. I wouldn't really like that. So I hope we just learn a thing or two and get out of there, wake up, and get back to reality. So, yeah,
Yep.
it is worrying. I am with you there. Then we have, it's not quite as clean, the other set of characters, because you have the mind space, and then you have the upside down, and then everyone else is just kind of mixing parties and doing different things. So we just have a bunch of the characters here. But kind of the top four here are tied together. Well, top two, Dustin and Steve. Their relationship in this season, it's grown on me a little bit just because I think I should give it a little more respect because Dustin, or Chuckles as we might call him, that's kind of our nickname for him, and kind of the only name that you know him by is Chuckles.
I'm terrible with their names. Let me know if I'm the only one that thinks these names in this show are just so confusing. I can't remember them. They don't fit the character look, I feel like.
No, that's
And
true.
then for me,
That's
all
true.
the female names all sound exactly the same in my head. And I'm just like, I don't remember who any of these are.
11's the only one he knows. And even they have to call her
Just give me.
Jane sometimes to confuse us. But yeah, so Dustin is upset over Eddie. Eddie's passing at the end of last season, so he's kind of adopted Eddie's role, maybe grew his hair out a little bit, maybe a little homage to that, and trying to be in the Hellfire Club and fighting back against all the people at school and everywhere that are slandering Eddie's good name, calling him a murderer, things like that. So he's getting into trouble there and kind of pulling away from the mission of getting Vecna, making everyone upset here, saying your priorities aren't straight, um, and really getting into it with Steve. Pretty much at every opportunity that they're together, they are bickering back and forth, fighting, and that's just on first watch at least. I'm like, that's just not fun. I just don't want I like those two together. I feel like they have a really cool relationship kind of from the second season on. And it just kind of sucks to see it like this, even though it may be realistic. And I should maybe have a little more, maybe it'll work out with the payoff. I assume we'll get some good resolution payoff making up. I hope. Because if that's all we got, that would be pretty terrible way to end these two characters' relationship in the show. But I hope we get something, even if it is very sad, kind of payoff possibly with one of their deaths or something like that. But some making up, hopefully, along the way will make this worth it. Um, so I could see it paying off better having it instead of just having a cool, fun relationship to actually go for something deeper. But right now, it's annoying.
Yeah, I don't give it any respect in season 5 here. It's one of the few things I liked still about, like, really liked about the show, characters wise. was their relationship leading into this, and they have just. Dustin was the only one. Chuckles was the only one hanging on for me of like the main core cast outside of Max. Whether or not you count Max, still liked Max, but the last one that I liked, and they're just like, how could we make it so he's very unlikable? And I get that he's dealing with that, but then we also have the part where if it's been 18 months, I'm a, I'm not saying that you wouldn't still have grief 18
Yeah.
months later, but it's like, okay, what are his friends then doing to help? Like, why are they not helping? Why is Steve not helping being the older person? What
Yeah.
is going on here? And it's like, yeah, maybe if they would have given us a little bit more of maybe Steve ended up
Steve.
saying something or something along the way that like, oh, now I'm really upset with him and because I needed him in that time and he said whatever.
That's
Maybe if
true.
they'd showed something like that, it would make more sense. But it just kind of feels like, wow, 18 months later and he's still that beat up about it. I
Yeah.
just don't know if that 100% makes sense with me.
Yeah,
Um,
there's it doesn't work. It's a big leap from where they were and where they are now, and it's I guess I don't know. I don't remember. I assume they
without
were great.
showing us something, without
Yeah.
showing us more, I don't get how that works.
Yeah.
Um, because yeah, I'm just like, well, were they that good of friends then? Because if he's just allowed him to be this depressed about this thing for 18 months and not tried to step in or do anything, and
Yeah.
it's to the point where they're just bickering, I'm like, I don't know,
Yeah.
I
It's
I'm not
not
sure.
not good feeling for sure.
No, I think that's the tough part, and I mean I would like more of the characters to be taking it seriously, and in a way, Dustin is sort of taking that part seriously, but then at the same
Yeah.
time, he doesn't really seem to be taking the situation of
Yeah.
Hawkins serious. It's
He's
just this weird thing,
emotionally serious, but yeah, with the mission, he just is late to the mission, going doing other things,
and
getting beat up.
that's
Yeah.
I
And
don't
yeah,
know.
more
It's strange.
just like way over the top bullies in school, beating them up and cutting up a snake and defiling the grave. And I'm like, okay, these people don't exist. I'm like,
And I'm just I
maybe,
don't
hopefully
know.
not.
I don't know the full context of like the community and what they know and what they don't know and
They're all
because they act like everything
psychopaths.
is going fine. Because I'm like, how do they not realize these people are like heavily involved in these things? Like, do they realize these
Yeah.
kids were heavily involved, or
I
do
feel
they
like,
just think they know nothing too?
yeah,
I don't know.
that's another thing with the season and maybe the show always, but I'm
Yeah,
like,
I don't know if that's
the
just a this season
logic
thing,
of
but
it and like the army, like, why aren't they keeping eyes on these people? Like, you have to know these people were related to 11, right? I mean,
right
it has to be
at this point,
reported at some time. And I just don't get how they aren't, because they're always sneaking around doing little plans, this and that. And I'm
hmm
like, wouldn't they be keeping better eyes on you? You're in a quarantine zone, kind of thing. And they just don't. They're buffoons. They have no idea how to manage anything, as with all authority figures in all shows and movies. But
that's
yeah,
true.
it's not the only person Steve's fighting with. Steve is also constantly bickering with Jonathan and competing for Nancy, even though I think Nancy and Jonathan are kind of together. Murray has given, he's kind of delivering goods to him. Murray's still good and likable.
That's true.
I do like that.
That's true.
That conspiracy theorist is always reliable to provide a chuckle. But he's also provided Jonathan with a ring and kind of hinting at him to propose to Nancy. He kind of is the one who got them initially together when they were on some mission visiting him, and he's like, "You two should be together." What a mistake that was. The relationship apparently not maybe the best, and Steve wants Nancy as well. So they're just constantly bickering, competing for them. Nancy's like, "Hey, everybody, just shut up," and she's girl bossing it, and I think maybe girl bossing it a little too hard, where that's kind of annoying now. So I don't know. I feel like this is like Other than when Nancy was sad about her parents, that part I liked. But other than that, all four of these characters might be at their worst state in the entire show. Most annoyingly state.
I agree, and that's saying a lot with Jonathan, because I feel like Jonathan's been terrible for a
That's
while
true.
now. And I feel like yeah, he's just been getting worse and worse, and I don't know outside of like the first season, I don't know if he's been that likable at all. Um,
Yeah.
Last season, like a druggie, I don't
Yeah.
even know what was going on there, but it certainly did not set me up to think, oh, I would love for him to get the girl, and like
Yeah.
what? I don't even know if he cares. I don't know
I
what
like
is even going on with his character.
they have done
It's
something that
because they've got too many They have too many characters at this point, and they just can't flesh out any of them.
yeah, that's true. And maybe we might get into some predictions later, but like right now, Steve and Jonathan, do you think both of them make it out alive? Which one do you think ends up with Nancy? Do none of them end up with Nancy? Where do you think it's going? Because they done something crazy. Because Jonathan, Steve was the ass who has the girl. Jonathan was, oh, the poor kid who wants the girl, but he's kind of a loser. Every time you cheer for the underdog, he gets the girl. He got the girl. And somehow Steve is so likable, and they made Jonathan so unlikable. And I think most, probably a majority say, we need Nancy to leave Jonathan and go back to Steve. I don't know how they did it, but I'm like, that's kind of what I'm feeling. That would be really weird. That would feel kind of
Yeah,
like a betrayal if they like kill off Jonathan and send her back to Steve. So I don't know how they do it, but I can't see her being with. I'm almost starting to not see her with either of them.
yeah. I was kind of thinking the same thing. I don't want her with Jonathan. It that just feels like some. I don't know, it doesn't feel like it works out.
Yeah,
And yeah, to get back to Steve, like what that would require doesn't feel like that's what would happen.
yeah,
Because yeah, either you have to off Jonathan. I feel like that's the easiest way to do it. Maybe the best. Otherwise, you have her just leave Jonathan, and then where does that leave Jonathan at the end of the
yeah.
series? So I'm like, I don't really
True.
unless
I don't know.
well they can introduce more character, another
That's
character for
true.
Jonathan to care more about than Nancy. He
That's
realizes
true.
he's got nothing in common with Nancy at all. Um, that's what
Exactly.
the last that's what the next three episodes are about. Because
Yes.
really, by the end of this whole show, it's always been about Jonathan,
It's always been about John.
Jonathan and Will,
Oh
the
man,
two big.
just how we want it. And
Then we got
then
Lucas.
Lucas. I originally had etc. extra characters, whatever, and then I'm like, I guess it's just Lucas. But apparently there's Mike there, but he kind of ties in with the Wheelers. He ties in with Will. We'll talk about later, but Lucas. And I'm like, Lucas, I don't know if you've had anything centered around you in this entire series. You were kind of on the basketball team, and those also kind of psychopaths tried to kill you, but you were just attached to Max at that point. And I'm like, I don't know if he's had any focus. At least Chuckles kind of feels like he's had a focus at some point. Will, obviously,
Yeah,
Mike's been the leader. 11, I don't know if Lucas. And I don't think he's going to get it. I think he's just going to
uh,
be attached to Max for the rest of the show.
yeah, and unfortunately, Max is, in my opinion, a way bigger, better character than he is. And I think that's why I actually liked him a little bit last season, a little bit more than I had. Well, mostly because they never really had him in a prominent role necessarily.
Yeah.
But his relationship with her is why I found him, and I'm like, oh, let's see how
Yeah.
this goes because I like Max. So I guess I'll give him a chance. But they haven't really showed me anything about him. I don't know anything about him outside of he's into sports. So yeah, I guess. And then that's where I don't know. I was really hoping something would happen between him and Max by this point, and maybe we'll get something
Yeah.
uh, later on. I don't know. Um, but
Yeah.
yeah, I guess it's not like you could really expect much. They haven't given him anything like the whole show, so um,
That's true.
it's not surprising that they don't give him really much to do
Yeah.
here either.
They haven't done anything bad with him, at least. He's not
That's true.
he's
He's
not
never been.
regressed like
That's true.
everyone.
He's just not done anything. So he's never been hated, but I don't know if he's ever been loved.
There you go. Don't do anything and you won't be hated. And then we kind of got Home Alone, which is kind of this extra story arc concerning. So Vecna is targeting kids. He takes Holly, and they see he's going to take another one from this family, Derek, Big D, as we call him. So they set up some shenanigans to get to Derek first and try to protect him. What did you think of this whole situation?
Yeah, I don't know. We reintroduced Lucas's sister, who I know all these characters are older than the kids are
Yep.
supposed to be. So I mean, they all kind of it's like they maybe look a little older than they should. But his sister, I was like, wait, who is this supposed to be his sister? I just thought she looked way older than I would expect his sister to be, and almost looked like a whole different character. And I was like, wait, is this his sister? Um, and, and yeah, the I guess the story with her, I was like, I don't know that I liked her involvement in um take or
Yeah.
trying to help get Big D, and and her going to because she was friends with Big D's sister or had broken off their friendship recently, right, or something like that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so was at dinner with her family, drugged them with this pie. Well, it wasn't at dinner. Made this pie. It was a pie,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Drugged them. It wasn't affecting the her friend, ex friend, whatever. Wasn't eating the pie. So stabbed her in the neck with a needle, put her out. I'm just like, my goodness, what is she doing to these people?
This is,
It's
I
a
mean,
criminal.
that
That's what it
is
felt like.
horrible. I'm like,
I'm
Erica, America
questioning.
used to be kind of this, oh, fun little cute. She'll sass to her brother, annoying little sister. I'm like, this girl is a psychopath. She is a murderer right here.
She's been hanging around the jocks in this town too long. I guess you're right, Pepper. They're all murderers.
They are. This
But yeah,
is,
anyway, then, yeah, we got Big D, and then he's initially talking, and I'm like, "Ah, I don't like this character at all. I don't think I'm going to like him. He is really over the top and
yes.
just very loudmouth, but yeah, it was funny. The first time I found him funny was when his dad was passing out from the stuff that she gave him. He started laughing, and I did find that pretty funny. Um, and then eventually, he grew on me. He grew on me, but then yeah, it led to a kind of Home Alone thing where a Demogorgon went in and they're doing these dang shenanigans. Pepper, you probably remember it better than I do the scene of what they all did, but I'm just thinking, what the heck is this? Is this Home Alone? I mean,
They,
it's later on. Well, I mean, we kind of talked about the army and their lack of knowledge of what's even going on, and
oh, yeah.
later on, lack of knowledge of how to take out Demogorgons.
Oh, yeah.
Unable to do it even with high-powered weaponry. But we got the Home Alone. I'm like, okay, we're using Home Alone shenanigans on a Demogorgon.
Yeah.
Let's see
Yeah.
how it turns out.
Yes. So what all do they do? So, I guess, yeah. So Vecna can see through the victim's eyes. So he goes when they're sleeping, they cover up Big D's head so Vecna will think, oh, he's asleep in his bed. So then the Demogorgon goes to his bedroom. Goes in there, they have like a CPR dummy under the sheets. So the Demogorgon holds that up. What is this? This is nothing. Then Lucas hops in the room, throws like some flammable liquid balloons that explode onto the Demogorgon. And then I'm like, that's just playing it really risky. Just jumping into that room with him, hops out of the room over a tripwire, which the Demogorgon goes, trips it. A nail board hits it, which I'm like, nails? Yes. Bullets? No. Okay, I guess that makes sense. And what happens when, yeah, he goes downstairs. The Demogorgon jumps down the flight, through the middle of the flight of stairs, cuts Logan off, or not Logan, Lucas. Logan, Logan, see, the names are terrible. You're right. But of course, the Demogorgon growls at him instead of swiping him, even though he caught him off guard. And then Lucas runs into the room, jumps over the rug, because under the rug they've cut out the entire floor to expose it to the basement. Demogorgon falls through the rug, tries to crawl back out, but Mike hits it with a shovel, falls down onto a bunch of barbed wire that they've set up down in the basement, where they shoot it with a tracker from a shotgun and light it on fire. I'm like, you might just kill it. I don't know if the tracker is going to be useful.
That's what I was kind of at that point. I was kind of hoping would happen. It's like, oh well, that didn't work. We went too far.
Oh, but it was a fun sequence. It feels kind of reminiscent. They've done some of those things in the past. I think kind of the first season, even they I think ended up setting some traps for it, and I think Jonathan showed up, or not Jonathan, Steve showed up, angry and drunk, and didn't believe him, and ended up. I think that's where he got his bat originally, but um, so it was a nice sequence for sure. But yeah, I
A
agree
little
about Big.
wacky.
It is a little wacky. I agree about Big D. I was like, oh my, we're just making a totally hateable character that we can kill off in the future. And then the same moment, kind of when his dad was passing out there, I'm like, I hate it, but I'm starting to actually like this kid. And it just kept going up. So the highlight of the season so far is Big D. But then we kind of go into the last kind of set of hub characters here. We have Will, we have Vecna, and kind of that final kind of showdown sequence, Vecna's plan and all these kids. So kind of Will throughout the season is, I don't know, he's just kind of being Will. Still, he's coming out of his shell a little more. And I
Weepy
think
Will.
Weeping Will, and Rockin' Robin kind of have a bit of a friendship in this season, and I think Will is probably I mean, it may not be saying much, but he is probably the best that he has ever been in these first four episodes, and I think it has to do a little bit with his relationship with Robin, and she kind of brings some character out of him where he's always just been weeping Will, scared, shaking, twitching, having visions, things like that. And then you go kind of quiet Will, very loud, talk, 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 Robin. And I think it kind of works, that relationship there. I think they found another unique pairing of characters that I enjoyed, and I think raised both of them up. You don't like it. You don't like it. I
Eh,
mean, it kind of centers around relationships and things like that are tied to it
I
as
mean,
well,
yeah,
which I think is kind
it's
of stupid,
fine.
but
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, I don't know. I think it's yeah more tied to that than anything. It's just like, oh, does that really give him the confidence to do what he does eventually? I don't know. I don't know. I
yeah,
think too because part of it is just I don't know this light feeling to their conversation of, and then it feels like they're doing this in times where things should be a little bit more
yeah,
serious, and so I think that's why it doesn't quite work for me. Um,
it's true. It's true.
but I mean it's I guess it's one of the better relationships in the season, which yeah is not saying too much, but yeah, I'm still not a big Will fan.
Still not a big Will.
They've I don't really like that. Like Will has been this terrible, terrible character for 4 seasons, and now you all of a sudden want me to change my mind after you've just made him unlikable, weepy Will for all this time, and now you want me to just change my thoughts about him? Made him have this bowl cut? I mean, what do you. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. He's
I
been
think I'm probably not fair on it because uh, I don't know. Do you want to get to the big Will moment, or did you
uh,
have more to say?
we could get to the big Will moment. So Will's got powers now.
And we
He
were kind of wondering. I mean, he was seeing visions throughout some of the episode, or throughout the. He was kind of seeing through the Demogorgon's eyes and stuff.
Yes, yes. So they were, and then of course Mike has to eventually come along and say, "Hey, you maybe you could control him. You're like a sorcerer. Here, I have a new mini for you. Here, you can take this. You're a sorcerer now. You're like Vecna." And he's like, "Oh, what? I'm like Vecna? No, you, Mike. What are you talking about? Me? No." But eventually it turns out he is like a sorcerer. He does have powers and he can be like Vecna. And he does end up, they're kind of escorting the kids. They get all these kids to get them out of this military kind of base there, which I'm like, well, how are you going to protect them better than this military base? But I guess no one can do anything. Everyone is just horrible at making plans and keeping things safe. And Demogorgons come in and attack, and as they're attacking, they're about to take out multiple characters, which was had you very worried that Mike was going to be taken out, and Robin and Lucas. You're like, oh no, my three favorite characters.
I'll tell you what I thought was going to happen at that moment. I'm
Really?
like, okay, there's one I definitely want gone, and there's another one I don't mind, wouldn't mind being gone. And what they're gonna do is they're gonna take out the one that has done nothing this whole show. Is what they're going to do, and it'll have no impact because you haven't built up anything about him. I kind of thought they were gonna take out Lucas there.
Man, they
I
couldn't.
thought they were,
They could not
but
with.
it wouldn't really make sense
I mean,
with what
Max
had
is still
happened.
in a
Yeah, it
coma.
wouldn't really
There's
make
no.
any sense.
Yeah, and I mean that's kind of the issue. Like everyone has unresolved things. I'm like, well, they can't die because that would really mess up this thing we need resolved.
Does Mike have an unresolved thing?
Mike was one that I thought once he was leading the kids, I
Does
was
he have
like,
an unresolved thing? I don't think he does.
I mean, he has to see 11 again, right? They gotta get together and see each other one more time.
No.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, they do. I could have
He's who I
seen.
really wanted gone.
Yes, yes, you have wanted him gone for a long time, and he was about gone. He was a second away from gone, and then Will kind of slow motion freezes and thinks back to a conversation with Robin, who was inspiring him about her story and her coming out and this and that, and just thinking, I don't need anybody. I don't need a relationship, this, that. I just need to be myself. You know, the most important thing in any movie to get someone to find powers, superpowers, is to just say, "Be yourself, man." And then he thinks about his friendship with Mike, and that's enough. And he is able to, like Vecna, just control these Demogorgons and freeze them in midair, and then snap their limbs and their necks and take them out and save his friends. And I mean it's definitely the coolest thing Will has ever done, and his hair was even sweaty and messed up, so you didn't even know it was a bowl cut at this point. So I'm like, he looks the best he's ever looked in this moment, and feels the best and feels the most important. So you may not have liked him throughout the series, but I mean, this is what we've got, and I'm happy with what they're doing with Will. I accept that he's going to be a big part. I never really wanted him to be, but since that's what we're getting, I think they did it good. I think they built him up good as a character, and they gave him a pretty awesome kind of intro into Super Sorcerer Will, which I mean, you don't have to be a fan of it, but I mean,
Built him up as a character. In
they
what
gave
way? His
him
weeping, his
his weeping.
seizing on the ground. What part built him up? Which part of that? No,
That's true.
it was his best moment, I guess.
It
But
was.
at the same time, I'm just like, yeah, I don't like where this is going. And to me, then that just no character is gone. No character is going to be taken out. I mean, how that was the perfect opportunity to take someone out, and we decided not to. Now at this point, I think it with now we have these three powerful beings probably going to team up, be a
Oh,
super
yeah,
team.
that's true.
We don't really need any of the human characters anymore, so might as well just get rid of them. We just have three characters, one of which we haven't heard of since season two. Who cares? Superheroes.
Yeah,
That's all we need. So I mean, now we got those characters. Just yeah, get rid of the rest of the characters. Don't need them
yeah,
because how can you help if they've got all the power?
that's true.
I think it just brings up way too many problems. It's the Captain Marvel. You already had one overpowered 11, and look what they had to do. They had to take away her powers for some of the episode to make it make sense for the
Yeah,
one of her scenes anyway.
yeah,
I'm like, okay, so now potentially we have three. I okay, I don't know now how we go from there. Now we got three soups, and yeah, I just I don't know. I don't. It didn't feel earned to me, but
yeah. I mean, he's just a master
it
at
would
it
it would have been
immediately.
cooler. I mean, maybe if it had felt like they were building him up, but I don't know. It just didn't seem like it was earned. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like yeah, they just. I mean, they probably teased it somewhat throughout the seasons, but I mean, they just. I don't know. Yeah, like you said, it doesn't feel like. I don't know. I just people fan fictioned that he would get powers, but I'm like, that's never actually gonna happen. But it did.
I would. I guess I don't know what you'd get out of it, but I wish he would have had to make a decision there on saving one.
I feel like that would take away from the moment of the powers in that
Well,
case.
yeah, well, maybe they shouldn't have had the powers reveal like that. He
That's
should have
true.
revealed it earlier, and then we know that he's got the powers, and he's like, oh, no, we know he can do this with Demogorgons, but oh, he can't win them all.
That's true.
And you
That's
can
true.
show maybe Vecna. I mean, maybe Vecna sees him after. So yeah, but Vecna appeared right before this happened
Yes.
and said how he had pretty much taken down Will and I've got all the power over you. And then Will immediately follows that up by doing this, and I'm like, okay, so Vecna, does he know that now? Does he have a
I
feeling that that happened? Does he have any
I have
knowledge of
no.
that or not?
He's just
I
gonna
don't
be like, "Where are those three Demogorgons? They ain't come home yet."
know. Didn't get their bones.
But yeah, Vecna shows up. I mean, I like the moment he shows up. Quite
That was
the
pretty good.
a lot of aura for sure.
That was good.
He's thick, crispy Vecna now, and he's got. I mean, he just seems bulkier in the top. I think he used to have more like exposed skin, but now that he's been, I think, shot and lit on fire, whatever they did to him at the end of last season, it's kind of grown some. It seems hard, tough skin that obviously 400,000 bullets can't even get through that the military tried to put into him. Even the fire didn't work. He just shot that back at him. His claw hand is like extendable now. He just shoots it out and uh, takes out soldiers with that. And then once not Nancy, Joyce, Will's mother, after Will is kind of hurt from the military burning the Demogorgons, he's connected, so he's on the floor, hurt from that. And then Vecna comes over, and Joyce is like, "Oh, get away from my boy." Does he kill her? I thought maybe he would. No, he's like, "Ah, nudge you aside. You're a main character." Boom. And you're just knocked out on the floor over there. Which,
I mean that too. Uh, the worst part is these kids. I don't think they like their parents. I don't think it would have even been affected Will at all.
okay, he's the
I don't
one
think
that
it.
is, he is the one that is attached to his mother. The other ones, I don't know if they have parents. Most of them. Dustin
That's
hasn't
true.
seen his mother since he killed her cat.
But yeah, I, I think that's the problem. I think they really needed to off someone. And maybe then I would have felt it more.
Yeah. I mean, it just, I don't know. I,
Especially too if we're bringing this 8 back. Like, I'm assuming they won't be a villain. Maybe if they are, it changes it. But even then, I don't think it needed to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we'll
I
see.
agree.
We'll see.
I
But
agree. And yeah,
it's,
I
it's,
don't.
it just feels like then too much happening. Too many powerful beings then at the same time. And that just doesn't really make sense to me. I feel like, yeah, should have offed his mom. Then he kind of uses the power and maybe startles Vecna a little bit, like, oh, wait a minute, maybe I don't have the control that I thought I had. And
Mhm.
then we see like maybe then that's when he has to make a decision to save more people. And now he's lost 3 people.
Yeah. Could be something like that, but they say we're not killing off anybody. Everybody has plot armor. This is a kids show after all. But yeah, I don't know what Vecna. I don't know why he showed up, other than having to have
I
him.
don't know
Otherwise,
either.
people are going to be upset because he's not there. That's the only reason I can think. And it makes me feel like, why was he hiding this whole time? What is he doing? Why is the Upside Down not scary anymore? He just shows up, talks to Will. Oh, you taught me that kids are easy to mold and you broke so easily, even though he's on the good side now. He's not fighting for Vecna. He didn't break him completely. He messed him
Right.
up a little bit, but I don't know if that makes sense. And I don't know exactly what Vecna wants to do. Just make an army of kids, I guess he's doing. And then Vecna just leaves, doesn't take out Will. Maybe, I don't know if he was in, I guess, sending the Demogorgons to kill his friends. And if that's the case, why wouldn't he have just done it himself? I think they say once Vecna doesn't leave loose ends. Well, he just left a lot of loose ends and just sent the Demogorgons after him. And I just don't get it. I don't get it. Why he would. I mean, I just had to explain in my head, like, oh, he respects Will. That's why he doesn't take out his mother or something. He wanted him to focus on what he was going to tell him, or he doesn't want to take out Will. He wants to use him later. I'm like, if I'm having to make up these things in my mind as to why the super powerful being wouldn't have just wiped out all of our people, then maybe it's not the strongest logic in the situation.
Right. And obviously, with the last 4 episodes, maybe things come to light, and maybe it makes a little more sense. I just, with what they've presented, I have a hard time identifying what that would be. Unless it's, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I think maybe getting into speculation some,
yeah.
whether or not Vecna is actually the final boss or not.
I
I feel
think
like that
he's.
is.
I
You
think he
think
is.
he? You don't think it's? I know some people speculate whether it's actually like the Mind Flayer that's the final boss and kind of in a way maybe controlling Vecna. Um,
Maybe there could be something. It could be a little bit.
it just feels like that's such a thing these days of oh misunderstood villain, but
That's
also with what he did there during that scene, unless there's like a fight for control. I was like,
yeah.
well, he did some pretty terrible things that are like just pure evil. So I mean, yeah, I don't know how you come back from that, but I do know a lot of people these days like to create these misunderstood villains, even
Yeah.
when they do really horrible, awful things. And it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, you can be misunderstood, but that doesn't mean that I should now be like, ah, I'm rooting for you.
No one is beyond redemption. He's going to be in their next D&D campaign. You mark my words. That's the last scene. He's going to be rolling the dice with his new pals.
He probably will be. So yeah, we'll see if that ends up being. I don't know if that's probably not what I would predict, but I think my only big prediction is that after what we just witnessed at the end of this one, I don't think there will be any main character or character deaths at all, except maybe Big D.
I
I think
I
there's
think
just
we
been
got.
so much armor on all the characters, I don't see it happening.
I think I'll go with. I do it every season. Steve has got. He's gonna go. He's gonna go. It's not gonna make it. Not gonna make it. It's my prediction. I'm standing to it, and that people will be divided on the finale. Safe pick.
That's always a safe pick. Yeah, I'm just hoping. I'm hoping I enjoy it a little bit more, and maybe by the end of it, I'll be thinking, okay, as a full season, it maybe works a little bit better than just the halfway point. That is what I'm hoping for. Hoping our characters finally come together. We get some more final feel good moments.
Yes.
Maybe they'll finally pull the trigger on some characters.
Pull some trigger. I mean, you
Well, now that I predicted it,
the
now they for sure will. They 100% will.
they will.
Everyone but Big D.
It's everyone. He will be the big bad. Oh man. Oh, that would be terrible. But yeah, so you're like, oh, hopefully it'll be happy, get some needs. You also want all the death that you can possibly get. Uh,
Well, I mean, usually we get that happiness
yeah,
right before that. That's
that's true.
kind of
We do
happens
always
sometimes.
lose someone right at the end, and usually it's just a side character. But yeah, I hope to like it too. I know people talked like season four. I was thinking that that was going to be like definitively the best season. As I was going through some of the episodes when I first watched it, I was catching up, so I was watching it, binging it, and I was like, I don't know if it's quite reached the heights the first few episodes into it. And I think with some of Max's big episodes there, when she's dealing with Vecna and the finales, I think has elevated it to my favorite season. So I hope the same thing happens here, and it just does just keep building up and getting better and better, and tops it off with the greatest series finale known to man. And another thing I hope for, I want to see Steve use that chainsaw as a weapon, not just a cut. It's on the poster here. I want to see more of it. I'm seeing it now, and I'm like, I want to see more of that, not just to cut a hole in that floor. He needs to use it and get the bat back.
I 100% agree. But yeah, let us know in the comments below what your thoughts are so far. If you're excited for the second half of season five, and who you think's gonna make it to the end, who you think won't. But otherwise, we hope to see you on the next one. And as always, don't forget to keep on nibbling on that microwave popcorn, possibly
Ooh.
movie theater popcorn, if you go and see the finale in a theater near you.